Guys, Nick here, and welcome back to my channel. It has been a very long time since I've done any sort of content on camera. I think the last time I did something was one of the trailer reactions for Zack Snyder's Justice League. And since then, it's just been a lot of, or a handful of Bitter Geeks podcast episodes. Most of them either Zack Snyder's Justice League related or Lord of the Rings related. And I know you guys haven't really been into the Lord of the Rings ones, but those have been some of my favorites recently. Anyways, so starting right now, actually I'm filming this at about 5 p.m. Pacific time. If you're a fan of Zack Snyder, or in the fandom in any way, you would know that this weekend is the weekend the Full Circle event that Zack announced about a month or so ago. And so he's going to be having the screenings of, obviously, Man of Steel tonight, Batman v Superman tomorrow, and then finishing off the weekend with Zack Snyder's Justice League in IMAX. And I am just doing this video to talk about everything about this weekend. And I am excited for one, because mainly, I'm not going to be there tonight, but I will be at the event on Saturday and on Sunday. So I'm very excited. And obviously when they did this, the SnyderCon, as the fans have called it, when Zack did it previously, I was unfortunately unable to go. My daughter was only a few weeks old at the time, so obviously I couldn't drop what I was doing with my family in order to go to that event. And I'm glad I decided to do this one. Not that I didn't want to do the other one, but in hindsight, he screened, in those movies, he screened Dawn of the Dead and Watchmen, which I have never seen Zack's Dawn of the Dead. Just zombie movies in general just aren't really my thing. I did see his Army of the Dead, of course, but I haven't seen Dawn of the Dead and Watchmen, which I enjoy Watchmen, but it's definitely not my favorite of Zack's movies. It's a good movie, but again, it's not my favorite. So I'm glad I'm going to an event where I'm going to be seeing Batman v Superman on the big screen for the 10th time, and that'll officially tie with The Force Awakens of being the movie that I've seen in theaters the most. And I'm glad that's the Ultimate Edition, because I was lucky enough, if you guys have been following my channel for all these years, you would know that I was able to see the one night they screened the Ultimate Edition of Batman v Superman. I was able to see that in the theater, and that was just a great experience. One of my favorite movie-going experiences of all time. That was a lot of fun. So I'm happy to be able to do that again. And then especially, I'm very happy and excited to watch and see, with an audience on the big screen in IMAX, Zack Snyder's Justice League. Something I never thought I would be able to see in any sort of official capacity, other than maybe a fan-run thing. But I live in Southern California, so a lot of, at least there hasn't been a lot of Zack Snyder fans, as far as I've seen, to organize. I know there have been a couple places around the world and around the country that Zack Snyder fans have organized a fan viewing of Zack Snyder Justice League in the theater where they rent it out. I have not had that experience, so this was my first time seeing it on the big screen, and I am very, very, very excited. One, obviously, because Zack will be there, and it'll probably be my first and only time meeting him in person. And I am obviously very excited about that. I've been a big fan of Zack's for a long time now. And it's crazy because, this all started almost 10 years ago with Man of Steel. Obviously, Zack started his work on Man of Steel well over 10 years ago. It's 13 years ago now. But it's crazy. It's been a whole decade of these movies. And obviously, they aren't moving forward. They're doing James Gunn's reboot and all that, which I won't get into. Other than to say that I'm not excited and I'm not really going to be watching. So that's all I'll say about that. But at the very least, I'm happy that we have these three movies. Obviously, Man of Steel, Batman v Superman, the Ultimate Edition, and Zack's cut of Justice League. All of which I love. They're some of my favorite movies of all time. As you can see behind me, I'm very much a fan. Because I have, obviously the Funko Pops and the McFarlane figures and whatnot. And, so, again, this video just talking about, what to maybe expect this weekend, and I'm, just talking about my excitement, and, so, I guess I'll just go and really get started. As I've already mentioned, I am very excited for this weekend. One thing I do kind of want to address, because it's still fresh news. It was announced yesterday. There's been some changes, but the fandom, if you haven't been following, is a little disappointed of the news that Sean O'Connell. If you guys are in the fandom, you probably know who he is. If not, he was the guy who wrote the Release the Snyder Cut book when the Snyder Cut was being released. And he himself got involved in the fandom. He's a movie critic, I believe, for Cinema Blend. And he got himself really involved in the fandom and then has said and done a lot of things to the fandom since then, whether it's making fun of the fandom. And then he actually had some drama with Ray Fisher, basically downplaying Joss's role as far as what he did and what he did wrong with Justice League, and he was just really just like talking down to Ray Fisher basically, and so that has made fans very mad at him, and he's also said stuff about Zack and his family since then that have not been nice. And Zack invited him to be the moderator for, initially it was going to be for on Sunday, moderating the panel for Justice League, but that has since been changed. As of right now, I don't know. I haven't seen if there's anything new, which I don't think there is. But now he's going to be moderating on Saturday for Batman v Superman. And for my personal opinion, I think that's a mistake. This is probably the one thing I've been the most disappointed in Zack for. I've seen some people being like, "Oh, like the Snyder cultists have finally gotten mad at their god and blah 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 blah." But like, my whole thing with that is like, no, and as much as I admire or appreciate someone and their work, like, everyone is human, everyone is fallible. Like, there's, Zack isn't free from criticism. As much as I love and respect the guy, like, he made a mistake in inviting Sean O'Connell, and it bothers me, and especially because what he did with Ray. And obviously, there's more to the situation. I'm just paraphrasing. So if you want to look into it yourself, if you don't know, you can just look up what happened. But yeah, it's just something that a lot of people I know, a lot of my friends on Twitter or who are in the fandom, were disappointed with Zack because of this, and they were looking forward to this weekend and are now kind of not looking forward to it. And, it sucks because, the fans, obviously we all want to look forward to this weekend. Obviously I'm still looking forward to it. I'm going. This doesn't change the fact that I'm going, and it doesn't change my excitement that much. It does make me a little disappointed. And I can't lie about that, but it's just something that I wish Zack would have been more like. It's hard because Zack isn't the most online person. I don't know how much he is online, and I know that's been a debate with some people being like, "Oh, well, Zack is obviously online, so he knows what he's doing," and people are just overplaying this minor thing. Like, it's. I'm allowed to be disappointed in Zack for this, and other people are allowed to be disappointed as well. I wish it was someone else. There are people even within the fandom who would have been better choices as moderators. But we'll see what happens. But as of right now, we don't know who's moderating tonight. Well, tonight I think, or at least right now, I think they have already started the screening for Man of Steel, so that's going on right now. I don't know who's moderating tonight's panel or who's going to be the guest. Zack hasn't officially announced really who's coming. At least I don't think he has. So everything's going to be a surprise, which I'm hoping for some surprises. Everyone's been saying, Zack's going to pull out all the stops for this, and he's going to try to get some of the cast and crew to be there. I know he kind of did that to an extent last time. He brought some of the cast and crew from his previous movies, and that would be cool to do, or cool to see. I obviously want to see the cast, but I'm trying to temper my expectations. And that was another thing too with if Zack does bring people out, more than likely Ray was to be someone that he would bring out. But with the Sean O'Connell thing, that's where I understand people's frustration, and obviously why I'm frustrated myself, because Ray is someone who's Ray has gone to bat for Zack. He's he put his career on the line with what happened with the Justice League production, so Ray doesn't deserve that. And if he is there, I hope he goes there, especially now that Sean's not doing Sunday. But yeah, my whole thing with that is I'm just disappointed with Zack. I hope he makes a last minute change, but if he doesn't, I mean, there's nothing I can do about it. I mean, I'll still be there, but I'm still allowed to be annoyed by it. But yeah, again, as far as potential guests or who to maybe expect, I've been talking about this with my wife and with some of my friends who were going, and some of my friends who obviously aren't going. We're just kind of theorizing who may or may not be there. Just looking, objectively, who's the most likely person to go to this event. And if Zach is really going to try his best, I think obviously Ray is someone who would probably be there. Christina Wren, who plays Major Ferris or Carrie Ferris in Man of Steel and Batman v Superman, I think she has a good chance of being there. I think there might be a decent chance Jason Momoa might show up. I don't know. Well, especially because I think a lot of I think the cast members who live in LA, there's a good chance some of them might show up. I think there's a decent chance that Ben might show up. Henry, I don't know, because I'm not sure if Henry resides in LA or in the UK. I think he lives in the UK, so I don't know. But again, I would like to be surprised. But again, we'll see. Gal, I think maybe. Ezra, I don't think so. I think Warner Brothers really just wants him to just stay out of the public eye with everything going on with him. And I know that's something that people probably want to talk about, and that's something that I haven't really had the chance to talk about on the channel. The Ezra Miller situation is a complicated one. I'm not saying he's, innocent or anything like that. But I have seen some conflicting things in regards to the things that he's done or supposedly done. I'm not diminishing the people he's hurt. I just have seen two sides to a few of the things, and I'm not sure what to believe. So I am not informed enough to make a decision either way. I am not financially supporting the Flash movie. So, I'm not buying any merch or anything for that. I mean, I've seen the trailers and stuff, and I have my issues with it. But yeah, I just, I'm not, supporting Ezra, and I don't think Ezra's going to show up because of those reasons. But yes, I don't think Ezra's going to be there. Henry, I don't think is going to be there. I would be, it'd be a pleasant surprise if Henry was there, but, it's fine if he's not. So I think Ben, Gal, maybe. I think she lives in LA. I could be wrong. Jason, maybe. Ray, I feel like is probably a guarantee. I would like to see Amy Adams. I would hope that she would be there for at least one of the nights that I'm there. If not, that's also fine. I'm sure she's also busy. But we'll see. And then there's even maybe not while I'm there, but maybe tonight, Michael Shannon might show up. Or, some of the other cast. It's, it's hard to guess because, I don't know to what extent, Zach is trying to, if he's at all, trying to pull everything he can. Because I think, in my personal opinion, I think this event is the last, big thing he's doing in regards to his DC movies and DC, or his relationship with DC in general. I don't think he's going to be doing anything moving forward. I know a lot of fans still want to have hope for the Snyderverse and, the hashtag sell Snyderverse to Netflix. I've mentioned that on the Bitter Geeks podcast, but in my personal opinion, I think the Snyderverse is dead. It's never going to Netflix, for one. DC and Warner Brothers are never going to sell part of their rights to another studio just for a single director to do. That's not going to happen, especially knowing how effed up WB is and still is. Even with all this new management, it's not going to happen, guys. I'm sorry. Would I like to be proven wrong? Yeah, absolutely. But I'm, being a realist, and I don't think that that's going to happen. So I don't think he's going to make any sort of announcement like that. So I think this weekend is just kind of this one big last hurrah for Zack and the fans who've been there since Man of Steel, who've been loving and defending his movies. Someone like me, obviously, because I've been there since day one, and I am I'm happy that this is it. I do think it's good that Zack is doing this to I think this is basically his last goodbye. He's going out with all of his movies being shown on a big screen with a big audience, and I'm glad he's doing it in a setting that he's comfortable in, and that he wants it to be seen in, especially with his cut of Justice League being shown in IMAX. And that is something that, I'm very, very excited to see as a fan, because obviously I think the movie's going to look great on the big screen like that. But also, I just think, that last bit of, Zack getting what he deserves as far as being able to, show his movie on the big screen. It should have been shown on the big screen to begin with, but obviously, we all know how that ended up happening. And I really think that, it's a tough pill to swallow that, this is it, and I wish that my, I wish the realist in me sometimes was a little more optimistic, but, I, have to look at things, as, realistically as possible, at least for my own mental sake, and I just think that, it's, we were incredibly lucky to get his cut of Justice League, and I think that, I'm glad we got to see it cut the way it was cut. I'm glad he was able to shoot those additional scenes, especially during COVID. And I'm very happy that, this is, what Zack wanted to do. Wanted to do for the fans and for the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention. I am happy for all those reasons. And I really just think that this will be it as far as Zack's involvement with DC. I would very much so like to be surprised, but, again, I just think realistically that that's probably going to be it. As far as any other expectations, I really don't know what else to expect. Well, it's hard because, I've seen all these movies already, so on that end, I don't think there's really going to be much new. I do think there is a decent chance that we might see that Wayne T. Carr Green Lantern scene that was supposed to be where the Martian Manhunter scene is at the end of the movie. I think there's a solid chance. I don't know if we'll see that cut with the movie, or if Zack will show it as an additional thing. But I'm pretty confident that we'll probably see it, especially in this format. And I think it would just be cool to see that Green Lantern scene finished. I'm still very happy that at the very least we got to see the actual official picture, which I think looked great. The suit looked great, and I know it was all CG, and I just think it looked great for being all CG. And Wayne looked great as Jon Stewart, and I hope that we see that scene, because it sucks because I'm sure he was really excited to see that play out, and obviously it didn't. I'm still happy with the Martian Manhunter scene we got. I think it's great. I love Martian Manhunter's design. That's another thing. I think Harry Lennox is someone that might show up, or probably will show up. And that'd be fine. I like him as Martian Manhunter and as General Swanwick. I know this is the same character, but it was, basically a retcon. But, he's someone I can probably see coming. And, again, I like Martian Manhunter. The only thing that, I'm not sure if I've really talked about this on my channel or on the podcast. I might have mentioned it. But if there's one thing I would change about Zack's cut of Justice League, is that I would probably change the context in which we see the Martian Manhunter reveal. I would still want that scene of Martha and Lois to be Martha and Lois. I don't particularly like that it's Martian Manhunter, because it kind of ruins that scene, because you feel the emotion of Martha, and she's grieving her son, and she's grieving with Lois. And I like that scene in that context, that it's just these two women who love Clark, who are two of the people that really share this secret grief, and I really wish that Zack had let that just be Martha and Lois's moment. How I would have done it, obviously I'm not a filmmaker, this is just my personal take, is that I would have had that scene exactly as it was, have Martha leave, she's not Martian Manhunter, but have Martian Manhunter kind of hovering outside of Lois's apartment. He hears the conversation, still says the line of the world needs you too, Lois, and he flies away. I think that still works, because you still get the set of, okay, Martian Manhunter is here. Obviously he had a relationship with Lois, obviously not a romantic one, but he had a dynamic with Lois in Man of Steel and BVS. And I think that, I think it's still not great, this is again my own personal idea for how it could have gone, but I think it at least would have made that scene better as far as still keeping it about Martha and Lois and their shared grief. That's just the main thing I would change. But yeah, I'm sorry, I'm getting a little off topic. But yeah, I mean, as far as anything else that might happen this weekend, I actually just saw on Twitter right now. So you guys probably will have seen this by the time this video is up. But they released, or at least someone shared, the poster that they have at the event, and it hasn't been released yet. But this, sorry, I'm trying to my best to. I can't see it very well. You can kind of see it. Let me see if I can turn down my brightness. Maybe that'll help. There we go. Yeah, I think it looks interesting. It's not my favorite of the posters they've released. I think that the one that Zack released initially, with the broken Superman statue back together, that's probably one of my favorite, like, all-time favorite posters in regards to these movies. Like, if that's there, I might buy it. And then that one there is fine. It's just it's just fine. It's just not my favorite poster. The broken one, I think, has a lot of layers to it. You know, that's where some people are like, oh, well, it's a Superman statue restored, so that must mean he's restoring the Snyderverse. I don't think that's what it means. If you want to believe that, that's your thing. Believe what you want. You could look at it that way, but I don't see it that way. I just think it's a really cool looking poster. And again, it has a lot of meaning if you want to look into it that way. It's visually a great poster. I really like it. Obviously, I use it as a thumbnail for this video. And I just, I'm here to see, and the Jim Lee artwork that came out, I like that a decent amount. It's not my favorite of the artwork or stuff that's come out for these movies, or at least for Justice League. I just, I'm a little picky when it comes to the artwork for this kind of stuff. Like, Jim Lee has done some really great work. He's just not my favorite DC artist, and he's just like, I would have rather seen someone else's artwork there. It's fine. It's not like the end of the world or anything, but it is what it is, But yeah, I mean, I don't think there's anything else I really have in mind to talk about. I'm still very much excited for this weekend. I will definitely do some sort of either like breakdown video of what happened, or I'm going to try to get the Bitter Geeks back together, not just me and Liz and Josh, who has been on our last few episodes. I'm going to try to get the OG Bitter Geeks together to do some sort of podcast or breakdown of what happened. A lot of them, well, pretty much none of them are coming. It's just me that's going to this event. Because a lot of them live in either different parts of the country or different parts of the world, so obviously they couldn't afford to come. Which sucks, because this would have been a cool opportunity to meet everyone, but I do have some friends in the fandom who I will be meeting, and that'll be fun and exciting to meet them in person. And I'm excited to see how this weekend turns out, and I am excited to talk about it once it does happen. I'll be sad when it's over. Like, even then, like, this time tomorrow, I will be in the theater with the crowd and Zach watching Batman v Superman, and I am very I'm nervous and I'm excited. Again, I'll be sad when it's over, because I've been looking forward to this since the moment that Zach teased it. And it's funny because for about a month before Zach had any sort of teaser or announcement for it, I was saying on Twitter how I had been wanting Zach to do another one of his director's cut weekends, because I wasn't able to go to the last one, and I'm so glad that this weekend is happening, mainly because it's the films that I really wanted to see, and I obviously want to have the opportunity to meet Zach or see Zach, and watch these movies with like-minded individuals who also feel the same way about these movies. Because that was my the one thing about my experience with watching Batman v Superman: The Ultimate Edition in LA. I was surrounded by, it was like a mixture of fans who really liked the movie, and unfortunately a lot of YouTube critics or online critics. And unfortunately I sat next to Hector Navarro and his buddy Adam. I can't remember his last name. That was not a fun time. And yeah, so I'm hoping that we're not in that sort of situation again. I'm hoping that there aren't that many, if any, other YouTube people. Obviously I know Sean Connell's going to be there, but we'll see, and I hope this weekend's fun for everyone involved. Obviously, I hope I have fun. But if any of you guys out there are attending, I hope you guys have fun, and I'll see you there. And if you're not attending, obviously, I wish you guys all could. I wish we all could have shared in this experience. But watch those live streams, and I know it sucks to see other people have fun when you want to, but it's I wish everyone could enjoy it. But yeah, I'm excited, and we will see how this weekend turns out. And with that being said, I think that's going to be it for me. I'm going to try to do more content in the future. It's going to be hard because obviously a lot of my channels revolved around DC and Zack, and I've tried to pivot into more Lord of the Rings type stuff, but a lot of people don't watch my Lord of the Rings content. My Zack content is what gets my channel decent-ish views, but I'll try to do something on the channel. I miss doing these videos. As much as I love doing the podcast, I miss doing these, just me talking to the camera videos and talking to you guys. And it's been a little too long. I promise it won't be that long until the next time. But yeah, I will definitely see you guys, or you guys will. I'll have another video out at some point, either next week or the next week and a half or so, breaking down everything that happened. And yeah, so that would be it for me and guys. So until next time, have a good one.